Hi, good evening, welcome back to the Student StarCraft AI tournament. Now that the smoke has cleared and the 2018 finals have passed, and for the last time before I start with this game, which I've been sent by Javier, the author of Ekberth, congratulations of course to Mr. Dan Gan. Purple Wave beat Locutus 4-0 in the finals, and before that 3-0 in, well, what's round 3. And of course all the other participants, Locutus good second place, and Seda, well, third place with the guest, and Ironbot in fourth place, and all the rest after that. But it's been a swell tournament, and well, it's over now. So we are back to the normal year, and let's see what that's going to bring. To recapitulate on what has happened right before the tournament, Crazio Terran dropped off the ladder, hasn't been reactivated. I do miss it because it was pretty good. And also Cherry Pie has not yet been reactivated, and the reasons as to why are not yet known. So that's very unfortunate, I must say, because Cherry Pie, I had high hopes of Cherry Pie. Oh damn, no, oh damn it, I ruined it. I ruined it. Let's do that again. Nice interface, but once you ruin it, you have ruined it. And okay, so we were here, and the scouting drone is still being chased. Let's up the speed a little bit. I haven't really got a theme today, and I'm just going to show you a couple of recommendations which I have received. I received about 2 or 3. This one was from January. And well, of course it should be cast first because of that. And then I've seen 2 recommendations, 2 games from I believe it was from Dan. Let me check right real quick. Yes, and it's from the AIST tournament, or for the AIST tournament, which will be coming up again, so that will be of course great to watch. But for now, that is some kind of a BM thing to do. That is, I think, an eBay. Must be. Something like that. And you can see it's nowhere near complete, but it just shows like that. And the drone tries killing it, so that will significantly delay Cherry Pie's build. Cherry Pie, of course, being tricked out, a little bit mean. Now 2 drones start spitting at this eBay, and the eBay will die, or will it get cancelled? Oh, well, it doesn't really matter, because here is the infantry, and the Cherry Pie is rolling over without a single... Oh, well, there is a handful of Zerg, was a handful of Zerg, a small handful, and the eBay is there again. So, pretty BM strat, and 1A to a 3A victory for Mr. Ekberth. And I did something stupid again, but, well, what do you know? So that was the first recommendation. And let me... yeah, I didn't really... So now the 2 other games, and they have been sent by, by Dan, Purple Wave, and the bot's called Purple Dev. Let's see what it's going to do. Of course, the great cheese which Purple Wave pulled to win the 2018 finals will not soon be forgotten. Lots of DTs all over the place, and in general quite on top of the build order dice throwing it was all throughout the tournament, so that was really impressive. Now let's see what McGrave is going to do. McGrave's going for a 2-gate. Oh, what a surprise. And Purple Dev is going for some kind of a core kind of thing. But you can see that McGrave is already out on the map with 3 zealots, which do chase this breakdancing probe, and I can't really... Oh, now it get hit. But, oh, and now it dies. So 4 zealots on the way, and only a goon and 2 zealots over here. Blocking the ramp for the scouting probe, or perhaps, no, it's not going to build the nexus over there. I think not. Got a... oh dear, shield battery coming up, and let's see how this goes. Of course, the attackers have got the high ground, which will be a bit of a benefit, but they all turn around once they see the dragoons. And now what more is coming? We've got the core spinning. We got more gates coming, and this, I believe, might either be a forge or a citadel. If it's going to be a citadel, we'll have DT tactics, and well, of course, Purple Dev has caught up rather nicely. So it now will be all about the route they're going to take. Purple Dev has got 23 probes. Oh, and now we've got some Zealot on Goon action. Let's turn that down to normal speed. You can see the dancing going on. And for now, McRave is going away because the rallies are quite far off, but because it's got map control, it's going to put down the Nexus first. And Purple Dev is going to take its sweet time. Has got a Robo Bay though, and this was a Citadel, which makes me believe that that is going to be a Templar Archives. And now you can see nice concave at the bottom of the ramp. Some Zealots are dying. Now let's see how that shield battery could come into play, because we've got damaged units and energy over here, but oh yes, there it goes. So once hit points, not shield hit points, but real hit points get lost, it will actually recharge. And now we've got an observer overhead already. And if we've got Templar Archives, yes, there is the DT. So this is not really as well timed as it could have been from McRave, but McRave has got the Natural up and running, has got a nice worker lead, and Purple Dev is caught on the low ground, and these goons are very brave. So with the shield battery, I don't really know, it could heal the shields a little bit more. It only seems to heal up to about 50%. I think that is a good decision, because it can then distribute its energy over more than one goon. So you can see now 11 workers ahead is McRave. Lots of gateways coming up. And are we going to see a Reaver? Yes, perhaps we will. The observer is seeing everything. Have we got a Robo Bay over here? No, not here. We have actually. We've got a Robo Bay. So this might either be observatory by the looks of the speed on that thing. And we've got a shuttle. And this is the right moment to take a natural once you've got the army advantage. And I can't really see. I think McRave must have lost quite a number of units in the attack on the low ground. We've got a Reaver, we've got a shuttle, and it's very unfortunate. Oh, and there is a Reaver in the shuttle as well. So for the time being, I think that Purple Dev is okay, can defend, has got the army advantage, and certainly the army value advantage with 2 Reavers. 3 Reavers now, good day. A small glance at the upgrades, no special Reaver upgrades, but by themselves they are quite powerful as it is. Worker transfer getting pulled off, but McRave has already started the 3rd, and this is turning into a rather nice PvP. And, well, what more do you want on a Sunday evening like this? So, a couple of goons standing over here, perhaps blocking the path of a possible shuttle. Oh, and that was 45 minerals worth of scarabs flying at a single goon. And all these units are really... well, they're not getting into the way of the probes, which can fly over units once they are carrying minerals, but... okay, there we go. So, Reavers being dropped in front, starting to blast down the enemy with their powerful scarabs, and... oh, this goon is very brave, leading the charge like that. And you can see Purple Dev is fighting expertly. It's doing a lot of damage. These goons keeping their distance, but with 2 Reavers in shuttles and, of course, the vanguard of the Dragoons. Oh dear, oh dear, where are the Dark Templars are there, and where is that? The Observer is nowhere to be seen, and oh, there it is. And now the DTs die, so the Observers were AFK for a little bit, and that cost a lot of goon hit points, and some lives as well. But now Purple Dev is out on the map, doing a lot of damage. Oh dear, where are the Observers again? It's here. And 1 goon dies because of it. A couple of more goons die, but these Reaver shuttle things are really doing a lot of damage, if not catching shots from the goons. And in one fell swoop, Purple Dev is right across the map and now has the enemy cornered. And once these Reavers start rocking up to the front, it's going to be very bloody. Now, of course, while I've been casting the battle, McRave has really been macroing its ass off, so has got a lot of forces, killing an observer, that's good. Should build some gateways here, that would be really nice. But Purple Dev is fighting a bloody action with all the Reavers. They are not as efficient as could be because they get picked up and dropped all the time, and there is no observer and there is another DT. So you can see McGrave doing very well for itself, bringing a Reaver to the front and blasting. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That is not good at all for Purple Dev. It's got an observer, but it's not where the action is or where the cloaked action is. And now you can see the Purple Dev is in the lead. There is no production over here. Oh, that's cute. That's the crashed NORAD battlecruiser thing. Nice do that. I like that map. Eddy 1.02. I don't think it's in the official AI map pool, but nice touch there. Of course, island map. Love to see bots take that. But Purple Dev, oh, that was a great storm. But the Reavers are doing some brilliant rearguard action, but McGrave has got a Reaver shuttle combination of its own going and is now taking over. And as you can see, the map is turning green. And although there is a small strike force here, there is still nothing, no production, no nada. McGrave has got a huge worker lead, but is bleeding a lot of forces over here in defense, or not the defense, in the damage that Purple Dev is doing. Meanwhile, we've got two Reavers over here, one on the ground. Ooh, that was a last good shot. Ooh, that was a really good parting shot. But then again, two Reavers lost at the cost of about one goon in lives and about 2 or 3 in hit points. So that's not all that great. And you can see Purple Dev gaining a lot of traction now in there. Ooh, with oh dear, oh dear. That I didn't see what that was, but that was brilliant. That did a lot of damage to the goons. And now Purple Dev is trying to bring down this Nexus. Still no production here, and that's going to harm the long-term interests of McGrave. McGrave has got 10 gateways here, and of course a rover base, so is pushing out a lot of units. Has got the Goon army on the run over here with a handful of zealots. But this Goon and Reaver thing, wow, 3 Reavers and shuttles are doing so much damage, and now the Reaver is coming out to help against the zealots as well. So Purple Dev is, I think, doing... Oh, and the cannons are just way too late. And if the goons didn't focus on the killing the probes, or perhaps they have got enough time, and a lot of money is lost by McGrave trying to put up a defense, had been wiser to build a couple of gateways so it would have some forces. Oh, and there is no storm dodging in Purple Dev. It seems... Oh god, look at the damage. So lots and lots of damage, and here comes McGrave with another shuttle. Oh, and another great storm, but now the Reaver dies and doesn't get picked up. Oh, and that Reaver doing very brave in a sniping situation, just took out a High Templar, point blank range. And now there is a little bit of a problem for McGrave because it's cornered. Purple Dev is expanding over here, has got 1-2 bases, is really mining out, hasn't got enough as much production as McGrave has, but still doing very, very well. Has got about double the army supply, but look at the storms and the Reaver from the top. Where are the... There are more storms coming. That is a great storm. The Templar dies, that's unfortunate, but another storm and another couple of Scarabs. This Reaver getting pretty low and dies. And now McGrave is back to the wall, is trying to ward off the enemy, and Purple Dev is getting a little bit low as well. It's doing great in harassing the economy of the enemy though. So we've got this third somehow mining. Main is mined out, natural is hardly populated, so there is very little coming in for McGrave, and Purple Dev has got a lot of gas. Oh dear, the Nexus is going to fall as well. That's very unfortunate for McGrave. Purple Dev has got one mining base, but is now also mining from this one. And the cannon is up. No production over there as well, and should really take another base. But you can see that it's got double the army supply, and McGrave is losing a lot of probes, being rather careless with them. Could mine from here, but really hasn't got... oh, there are 2 probes, which could bring in some minerals, and they are going to do so. Should do so quickly, and then perhaps build some probes over here, because there is a next large attack coming in right now. It's 8 versus 75 army supply. That's not so very good news for McGrave, and no probe over here. 3 probes mining over there, but there are a lot of goons, and now all the probes die, and with only 90 minerals in the bank, I don't really think... I can't see McGrave coming back from this. But what a PvP this has been. very little mistakes made by McGrave, but Purple Dev's combat micro is just so good, and of course to harass. These 3 undefended expansions completely gutted by stray goons and a couple of reavers, so that was well, an area where McGrave could improve. Purple Dev is going to take more bases and slowly kill this one over here, and I am happy to announce that we have got another one, so I will send a set of 2. Of course they both have been sent by Dan, the author of Purple Dev, so not really sure about being fair and balanced, but then again McGrave could have sent me some replays as well where it would win. And of course Dan is never ashamed to send me any games which he thinks are interesting and in which he loses. It must be said that everyone who submits games generally does that of games is what will win. And again we've got the shield battery thing going. So live life to the fullest thanks to shield battery, and then you've got to mess it up, and I'm not very good at that. 1 goon versus 2 zealots, that's 2 goons versus 2 zealots, that's a little bit fairer. And now it's 2 goons, 3 goons versus 3 zealots, and of course, oh, this is very unfortunate. The reinforcing zealots, they don't really catch up with the army, and that means some free shots for Purple Dev. Purple Dev going to continue with 2-gate goon kind of thing. And McGrave is starting the range first, so if McGrave can get a little bit of an edge on... Oh, and the probe just doesn't get in. If you can get an edge on the enemy with range, yes, that's very good. Now McGrave cleaning the base, and of course the goons will have range sooner, a little bit. So now it will all come down to micro. This is a little bit of a chess game where you have 2 rooks and 4 pawns versus 5 rooks, or something like that, if that makes any sense. And that's going to be very interesting. Now range finishing for McGrave. So McGrave will have the opportunity to outrange the goons of the enemy, and of course the zealots can drive them across the field a little bit. McGrave has got the army advantage. So let's see, a couple of goons damaged, 1 zealot dies, 1 goon dies, and another volley takes care of another zealot, but another goon gets badly damaged. And where are the reinforcements coming for McGrave? McGrave has... oh, for Purple Dev, sorry. Purple Dev has just built another gateway, but McGrave has got the army lead and is now doing damage. Purple Dev not fighting as much as fleeing. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And now you've got a nice concave with, of course, the shield battery, which I saw flashing already. And this, oh, these goons are way too far off. That's not good at all. But the shield battery is doing wonders. Look at these goons in the front line. It will just keep the hit points. Oh, well, that's a little bit cowardice. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And now they'll come over here. So if you got a choke like that with a good concave, you could have done a little bit better. Now the shield battery is out of energy. But I think that Purple Dev has got the defender's advantage, and McGrave should just take a natural and capitalize on the map control that it has. Has got a Robo Bay and a Robo Support. That's good. Oh, and Purple Dev now being a little bit careless and losing a couple of goons because of that. Great micro here by McGrave, and Purple Dev in a defensive situation is not as strong. So McGrave now with an army advantage, and of course the shield battery hasn't really recharged yet. We've got a shuttle waiting for a Reaver, but will the Reaver come in time to save the day? Where is it? Where is that shuttle? Oh, the shuttle is just bringing the Reaver. So now I think you can defend that with a Reaver, and again McGrave with the earlier expansion, foregoing the quick Reaver shuttle combination, and oh well, there is a Reaver, and it will be crawling towards the front. But Purple Dev with the Reaver shuttle should be okay, but it's very hard to fight in a contained area like this with a Reaver. And now you can see a nice sort of SimCity with these gateway units. Reaver in the back. Oh dear, oh dear, and McGrave has brought his own Reaver, and you can see now that Purple Dev is in a bit of a quandary. It can't really get out of this choke. And while it can fight some... Oh, that is a good position for the Reaver to be in. Oh dear, look at the scarabs being exchanged. But of course there is the shield battery. Another shield battery might do wonders in a defensive situation like that. Of course there is the money. Purple Dev has got a lot of money. And now, oh, 2 Reavers in a shuttle, and McGrave really doing damage. But now Oh, the shuttle is... No, that's not going to work over there. Purple Dev placing down the expansion of its own. So, very well done. McGrave now has got the natural up and running, has got an army disadvantage, but has got 2 Reavers in a shuttle. And this is a very... Oh, cancels the Nexus. That is very well done. And what will it kill first? The Reavers or the shuttle? Oh, that was an excellent shot by that Reaver. Shuttle, though, is getting very low. McGrave should be really careful not to lose that shuttle, and that constitutes a lot of its fighting power at this moment. And the goons, they smell blood, or whatever is in Reavers. And nice drop over there. From the high ground, ooh, gets picked up. And Purple Dev just can't find the peace of mind to... Oh, this is a very tense situation for all these goons. Will more goons be coming? Yes, and another Reaver as well. But the... Oh, that shuttle is so very lucky. I think 2 more shots and it will... But the shuttle Reaver combination for Purple Dev is falling. And this Reaver is getting very uppity. And now McGrave has got the upper hand, looks like. And yes, it's 50 versus 6 army supply. It is... Oh, McGrave's already taken the middle expansion. And as I said, another great PvP, but this time it's McGrave calling the shots. And the last couple of shots are going to put this Reaver to rest. And now it will be all about shooting probes with a lot of Reavers, and that can be quite a fun game. So I showed you the destruction of McGrave base in game number 1. And it should all be... it should be fair that McGrave will have its moment of glory. Some good rearguard action by this Reaver, but then again, if you are 6 versus 60, it's going to be a tall order to beat. And when all the probes are dead, you can, die. So that's that. These 2 Protosses working very hard on their game, and will be very interesting to see what they are going to come up with in AIST. So please all watch that. It's going to be brilliant. We've got a new bot. It's Velocirandom. And this game rolled as Protoss, and it's going to play Simon Prince's Terran. And Simon Prince's Terran, of course, is pretty good. It's not as recent as Tier Protoss, but then again, it is still pretty decent. And I thought, well, for a new random bot, let's pick a decent opponent. We've got a large map, so we can see what's going to happen. 2 gates starting out, that's never a bad idea as a Protoss. Scouting SCV rolling up, and a couple of pylons. So far, nothing too curious, and worker defense, which is very good. So this SCV has now ascertained the race of the enemy, and is going back to base. Prince, or Tyr as the bot's called, TYR, is going to go for 1 barracks and 1 bunker in a peculiar location, while we have a lot of zealots coming up, and is now going for a command center, and that is a little bit, is pushing it somewhat. We've got 1 barracks. Oh, there are SCVs going up to... Yeah, that's not going to work, could have told you that. Is the barracks regaining... Oh, no, that's not good at all. But all the zealots are going... No, they're not all going for the bunker, they're going for the SCVs, and may actually do some damage. 1 more marine is coming up and helping seeing these zealots off. Meanwhile, gas is being mined, and I think that's going to be a call. So, not just a 2-gate, and that's always good for a new bot, especially if it's a random bot. Lots of mining time lost. You can see Simon Prince's economy is hurting severely, but has got a factory. Oh, and these zealots, they need a bit of guiding on the combat simulator. Now all the SCVs back to work. And with 17 SCVs and a bunker killing all the stray zealots, I don't think that Simon Prince's tier is in such a bad position. But here come some goons. And for now, will we see range? Yes, we will. Oh, sorry, could have shown you that here. We will see range. So that should be okay. But now, I think that Simon Prince is not going to sit back on this 1 bunker and just let things happen for the rest of the game, while these zealots continue their suicide patrol right in front of the bunker. And now we've got a tank, and I'm nearly... rather... Yeah, that's it. Oh, no, that's not siege mode. Siege mode was done already. No natural by a Velocirandom. Going for another gate. How many gates can you power with 1 base, I wonder? The answer for... Oh, that's good. But with 2 tanks on the high ground and the bunker and the not fully trained combat simulator of Velocirandom, it's going to be a little bit hard to make it up there. And now with 3 tanks and without any zealots, I don't think that Velocirandom... but here they come. They take 1 volley at the tank. That's good. Tyr not really... Oh, is not... Yeah, not preparing. Trying to take a command center and only here realizing that's not going to work. No natural by Velocirandom. Natural started again. 2 tanks on the high ground. Natural cancelled. Oh, and the tanks being engaged. That's pretty good. So, if Velocirandom were actually expanding, it could do okay. Because Tyr can't really get out of the base with just a handful of tanks. On the low ground they will get surrounded and killed. And on the ramp as well. And now these goons, oh, they have got pretty impressive micro. Let's see how they fare at the bunker. I wonder how many Marines are in there. I think there are about, oh, there must be 4. So that's a lot of firing power. Now you can see a lot of goons are dying, but Tyr just can't really get its stuff together. Unfortunately, there is not an expansion. Oh, missed that. The bunker fell. And now it's 24 versus 0 army supply. And Tyr is trying to produce what it can while making 2 mech upgrades simultaneously, and I think that Velocirandom is not going to regret that very much. That decision by Tyr, and oh, there we have the natural. So quite aggressive goon play, which I think is nice. That is way too many upgrades. Anti-air upgrade as well by Simon Prince for reasons. Now the tank will start blasting, but by now there are way too many goons, and this tank will fall. All the SCVs are falling as well, and there we go, not wasting any shots on the machine shop, just going for the SCVs and the production. But by now this game has run its course, and that is the GG. Simon Prince taps out, and Velocirandom, welcome, we'll be watching you. Great game, well played. So, from the top of my head I thought, well, let's see what SSCAIT was capable of, and no, I'm not going to show you who updated. We had relatively few updates from the top bots. I think they all took a bit of a breather from active AI development, and or at least kept some upgrades for themselves. From what I've seen, I've not spoken to anyone since the finals, so I've been a little bit lazy actually. Just going to have to think up something to do for the coming year, because we are still aiming at getting a video out every week, and it's all been a bit repetitive even before the finals. So if you've got any suggestions about what I should do, please do email me. Of course you can recommend games. You've got my email address over here. If you see a good game, please send it to me. It's going to be a little bit busy work-wise, so I won't have as much time for watching the stream as I have had the last couple of months. So yes, that. Now SSCAIT going for 1 or 2 Marines, 1 Marine at least in the mineral line, quick expansion, Vulture out on the map, and Killerbot going for, I think this is, I can't really see, but it's already morphing. Oh, but it's a little bit late, and that is going to be costly because, yeah, there you go. 1 drone dead, 2 drones dead. Should make some fighting forces. This Sunken is not covering anything, and that Vulture is doing way too much damage. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Killerbot completely misanalyzing this, building a spire and 4 mutas, but so many workers are dying, it cannot be good for your economy to have that happen to you. And SSCAIT is already starting Goliath production, as can be seen here. Some turrets as well. And the worker count's completely gone. Now mines as well. Oh, going after the scouting SUV first, while 1, 2 more drones get killed. That's complete rubbish. But now the mutas are out, and I think that with the worker counts as they are, 33 versus 17 workers, that SSCAIT will have to play pretty well to break that. 2 turrets each at the command centers, better placed than this Sunken over here and that Sunken over there. And as you can see, they can't really get too much done. There are only 4 mutas, and well, they could pick apart this eBay, but I don't really think that is going to work. What's Killerbot making mutas and drones? and taking a third base, which is good. I think, though, it's going to be found by this... oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Getting in way too deep and getting stuck between... Yes, that is a great pity. All the mutants are probably going to die. Because they can't really see the edge of the map and they won't get out. And the two more are going to threaten a full complement of Goliaths and going straight into the middle of the base. One more dying, and I... Ah, dear, oh dear, my Zerg heart is bleeding, but I think that the Green Terran, which fell short to a lot of cheese in the finals, is not going to have much of a problem with this this muta build. We've got 9 mutas, they could do well, but right now there are too many Goliaths out and the mutas are too prone to dying on their own. And that's not going to work. Now we'll have a little bit of a backup. I think that is going to be good. Will we have any mech upgrades? Yes. Oh, but they pick a wrong angle and get themselves butchered again. Third is sort of up and running. Single drone is transferring. Oh, and now Goliath getting cut off from the herd. So 11 mutas. That's nice. And the Goliaths, they go AFK a little bit. And Killabot getting some damage back. I think that's good. I don't really think it will be enough, but you never know. And now... No, get out, get out, get out. Seder trying to build some turrets, but losing some CVs and invested minerals. So I think that's a net victory for Killer. And Killer is going to build... Oh, it's only got 8 mutas, and they still keep on pushing right into the Goliath count. That's not good at all. What's Killer building? Mutas and not drones. It's 48-50 versus 21 workers. That's not good at all. The third is getting taken into commission, but I think that Seder will have its third base. And these mutas, why are they flying over here? That's completely suicidal. And they're going to lose... Oh, yes. Of course, two turrets do less damage than... they can't really think of a minimal losses scenario, so they are taking a lot of losses, actually. But now, oh dear, there's nothing here, and more drones will be lost, and Seder is playing this like a machine. It's so very beautiful. I obviously missed a drop over there. Yes, very unfortunate. The worker count's completely wrecked. And there's an even smaller and smaller number of mutas is fighting a larger growing number of Goliaths all the time. So that's not really going to work. That's going to be a sunken, but that's rather late. As you can see, there are no workers here anymore. The mutas come to have a look, but not really working either. And although the worker count is recuperating a little bit, it's 12 versus 102 army supply, and Zerg is trying a muta switch. Oh god. And the vultures come right back in, and now the main army's knocking at the door. A couple of mines over here, so that's not really working. Oh, we're in the Diablo 2 soundtrack again. I'll put it on loop. Sorry, forgot that. And Seder is getting a little bit of revenge for the finals of 2018, which were a bit of deception for the Samsung team, must have been. But as a relatively young bot, you are not as well equipped to deal with cheese as some of the older battle axes among the AIs. So, yeah, that's that, I believe. Good game. And Killer, of course, we'll be watching for an update from Killer for this Muta micro, because it's still pretty good. And we have seen more Zerg bots go the Muta route after that, and with some moderate success, so with a little bit of better decision making and larger scale analysis, and especially in these situations where you have a lot of turrets and Goliaths, you have to pick the axes with the least losses, and that can be a whole new territory for these bots to think about. But I thought, well, let's have Purple Wave versus Seder. That's always going to be a good game, and why not? We've got the scouting SCV being chased by Goon, falling, and the scouting probe is not getting in. Quick expansion by Seder again, and Purple Wave is going for... Oh god, here we go again. Let's think about what this is going to be. And it looks like Seder just hasn't got... Oh, it has got. an anti-DT strategy. I don't know why it didn't work during the finals, because Purple Wave really wrecked there. Purple Wave now with an expansion of its own will... Oh, and a third immediately after that, because SSCAIT will be restricted to 2 bases, and yes, you don't really want to suicide all these DTs, that's just costly. And it looks like there are no more goons coming. Oh, that's some very quick arbiters, look at that. I just had a peek, and that's the first arbiter out already, and for your information, we are at the 8-minute mark. Nice starport on the promontory, but of course with the arbiter overhead for scouting and not an observer. And taking some shots at the dropship while they're there. Very good. Purple Wave is able to harass the buildings on the high ground, and the tank count is not such that, oh, of course there should be some tanks over here, but SSCAIT isn't really capable of that yet, looks like. Of course also waiting for a SSCAIT update, because it's a real monster in its own right. Now though, Purple Wave seems to be calling the shots with this excellent harass on the high ground. And this arbiter is just not only for cloaking, it's also for providing a little bit of vision. Now the tank on the high ground, and these tanks over here are doing good. Really doing good, but the third is up, and I think that... oh dear, that's a lot of production coming online. Arbiter Tribunal is there. And I think we will see a couple of additional arbiters. Arbiter taking a little bit of damage, but now 2 arbiters overhead, and I think that the map control situation is such that... that's an interesting wall of turrets. SSCAIT is going to have to fight hard to stay in this game. Of course, versus a Gateway Protoss army, you can... Oh, that's pretty cute, but it doesn't really do much damage. That stasis. But it's sure annoying having 2 arbiters and a large Gateway army outside of your walls. Now, this is pretty good. Random cannon for some extra map control in the wrong place, but you can't have everything, can you? Could rather have been here. These 3 vultures, they decimate the base in record speed. Will we have more cannons? No, we will have a zealot though, but then again, you know what 3 vultures are going to do. Oh, and the probes, they sort of have to defend themselves, and these 3 zealots could have done a lot worse. But now Purple Wave is growing in strength. Has got 2 arbiters, a lot of zealots and goons. The tanks are moving out through all the cloaked units, and you can see how that goes. So, oh, Purple Wave playing in a very expensive game of Minesweeper, losing 100 army supply over there. That is really something. Oh, and there are mines everywhere, so everything is exploding, everything is stasis, and SSCAIT has only got 40 army supply, I think about 20 of which is now stasis, and is losing the natural. That's not good. Vultures running the third again. That is complete rubbish. So should zone that out a little bit better. Oh, and this goon has found the hidden base of SSCAIT. So SSCAIT not really looking too happy. Could have done a little bit better with defending with a couple of tanks on the high ground. But all in all, doing okay with the run-bys, completely demolishing this base over here. Oh, there is a tank as well. Nice, must have been dropped. But at the same time losing its own natural, at least the workers, and losing the main. It is 14 versus 66 army supply, and I am pretty confident that Purple Wave will bring this home. So we are going to go into the next game. Which will that be? I don't know, just the next one. It's McRave versus Simplicity, and we saw McRave in a brilliant PvP versus Purple Wave development version of it, at least. And looked pretty good. So we had a McRave update on the server as well. So let's see how it's going to fare versus Simplicity, a bot which amazes with great drop play, and then, well, didn't really back it up with the macro you'd expect from a top Zerg, but still, lots of innovations and, well, sound decision making, I would say. So let's see how it's going to play this game. It's got a lot of workers. In-base hatchery, would expect it near the ramp, but should be okay with 2 Sunkens and a handful of... That's a lot of Zerglings, not really a lot of workers. And the Zealots are going to... there. Oh, and a Corsair, that's pretty BM. I hope that's going to be Hydra then. There is another Corsair. Otherwise, it's... oh, it's an Evo. I hope that's going to be a Spore. And that's the third Corsair. What? How many gates are there? Only one. Good God. So one gate and a lot of Corsairs, but I think those are going to be Spores. And if these are going to be Overlords, they should be okay for the meanwhile. Meanwhile, well, a lot of Zealots, but there is... Oh, that's a good use for so many Zerglings. And you can see hardly a Zergling lost. Let's see if they got speed. They haven't got speed. +1 air weapons and air armor coming up. So the Sairs will have a little bit of a harder time, but the Sairs, oh, now are group hugging among the above the Nexus. And more being built. So, yeah, that's a good use of your Corsair. Yeah, that Scouting Overlord certainly did not enjoy that. And we've got a bit of a Zergling Zealot skirmish going on in the middle of the map. Yeah, that went well. No Overlord speed, so the Overlords had better sit back behind these Spores for a little bit. Will we see Disruption Web? We might. But you can see the Overlords are quite safe. And now there are some Hydras, and that's good. Lots, of course, that's a lot of Corsairs. One Overlord got killed, got a little bit adventurous. This one too, but there are some Hydras, and I think... Oh, this High Templar is very, very lucky it didn't get killed right there. Simplicity with a third base, and both players are not really gaining the most traction they could. We've got a lot of Corsairs. Could build... No, well, the Spore cover is average. Could have Overlord speed, that would be great. Storm's done. We've got an Archon, and we've still got 3 Sunkens and a Spore and some Hydra Ling. No upgrade... Oh, very little upgrades at all for Simplicity. And these Corsairs just trying to be pesky. Some Hydras get sent over and they chase them away. I think a Spore over here would just make it a little bit more manageable. And now a Dark Templar and a High Templar. Where's the High Templar? But with all the Sunkens and the Hydras and the Zerglings... Oh, a lot of almost dead Hydras. That's cute. Or sad for the Hydras. We've got a third base coming up by McGrave. The third base for Simplicity is not really operational at this point. Could just make one round of drones and then set up some defense, but for the time being is not doing so. A drone is moving. It's not moving out. Haha, too bad for you. While some Zealots get a little bit more than they they'd hope they'd get. And as one great corporal once said, they don't like it up. Death from below. So Simplicity is sitting back behind some adequate defenses in the sight of this frontal assault by a nice Storm. Could have been more on the forces of Zerg, but that was poor Archon. And of course, with only one Spore over here, this Dark Templar can do quite a bit of damage. The Overlords are slithering over. Oh, Overlord speed is coming up, actually. I always like it when it hits, and then the Overlords, yes, there they go, they get on speed, and it's beautiful to watch. McGrave, though, I question its soundness of decision making in running up to this defense time and again. Now the third base is sort of operational for both players. McGrave is just losing a lot of forces, and it's a good thing that Simplicity is not really capitalizing on that in taking a lot of bases. And oh dear, is that going to work? No, it isn't. Let's try again. No, denied once more. Third time's the charm. Oh, too bad, you're not going to get in there. And I really don't know what these Zealots are doing. It might be, because they are shuffling around a bit, that this probe may get in, and I think it gets sent in to once they're out of position, and then they are back into position and it can't get in. But now there is a very large army without an observer, and that's very sad because there is a lurker. There is a High Templar, and I think it may be storming that lurker. Or not. Meanwhile, these lurkers are doing a lot of damage. No, that Ling is doing its utmost to damage the lurker it's sitting on top of. Fourth base coming up, no defenses here, so if McRae finds that, that's going to be painful. lots and lots of damage done by one lurker, and I really... McRave amazes me, because you really need an observer in a position... Oh, that's the thingy. Disruption web, that's pretty good. Just keep down, boy, it's not that hard. And McRave is... yeah, now it's Storm, so it only storms visible lurkers, and that's something you can do. Lots of lurkers though, and very preciously positioned if a storm were to hit. No cannons over... oh, right when you say it. Oh, and McRave is going to build production at the expansion as well. That I like. Oh, and these zealots, they get stormed the life out of them. Meanwhile, the lurkers are... oh god, McRave, what are you doing? Of course, you can fight a couple of hydras and kill a couple of lings, but you can't really storm yourself so much and then run into the lurkers with the force which actually survive. Lots of disruption webs, and as you can see, a lot of them are quite stacked. And even though a lot of Corsairs with a lot of energy. Upgrade-wise, Protoss doing a lot better than Zerg. Oh, sorry, I selected all the text again. But Simplicity has got 3 bases operational and is doing quite well in these weird asymmetrical exchanges where you've got a lot of lurkers fighting or attacking a lot of units which can't see them. And McRave again is sort of maxed. What's it making? A High Templar and a Nexus. Lots of storms going off. Simplicity trying to run around with a lot of lings. Lots of lings dying, unfortunately so for Zerg. Protoss doing a better job in that respect. Still, we've got a maxed army of 134 supply, and we haven't got a Robo Bay. Perhaps this is going to be it. Yes, that's the observatory, and if I'm not very much mistaken, we will have a maxed Protoss without any more supply for observers. Perhaps now. You never know. While Simplicity is taking a lot of bases, and McRave is distributing its army quite evenly across all enemies. And we've got a Lurker drop. That's pretty good. Lurker drop. Oh, a double Lurker drop, and that shuts down this base in double the speed. And while the entire army is here... oh, lots of storms going off. Great show. Lots of pylons being built. God no. Oh, McRave is losing some pylons, so it's rebuilding those. Storms going off everywhere, but there are... oh, on their own forces! Good God, these Protoss are suffering horribly. And now McRave is planting down a lot of cannons instead of reinforcing its army, which it should bloody well do so, because it's losing about 70-80 army supply in that atrocious attack, not even counting this double Lurker drop over here. And we've got a Lurker drop over here as well. So it's not really right among the workers, but I think once this extractor is down... oh, a simulator it's called for the Protoss. They will advance a little bit and move straight... oh no, it's replaced. That's sound thinking. McRave could do some drops as well, that would be great. Oh, and now is... oh god, that's a lot of cannons. Is rebuilding, and it's rebuilding an observer as well. So has got 2 observers now, 10 Corsairs, a lot of gateway units. So should be in a little bit better position to fight off the lurkers. Here come 2 lurkers and 2 overlords. And I can't really see this going very well. 4 lurkers against an entire Protoss death roll. But you never know, and that's the game, for them at least. And now Zerg's really getting into a swarm mode with 70 workers of its own. And we are going to see Ultras as well, oh good god. And the Protoss just can't find a way over this little ridge. No recall, no shuttles. And I think that's really going to be important, because attacking into a position like this can be quite nasty. You've got all kinds of forces over here. You've got these Sunkens which do real damage to gateway units. And then you've got the Lurkers, which, even if you've got an observer, are quite deadly to thickly thronged Zealots. And now you can see the full might of Zerg unfolding on the map, and I really need to cast these games in 180p, because then I can fit more of the action on this screen. Simplicity is entering macro mode, and you can see what this looks like. Zerglings all over the place. Cheap units, the Protoss on the run. And every time I think a drop is imminent, it's just, oh god, Simplicity getting way supply blocked because it's careless with all of its overlords. Now taking this base though, that's pretty ballsy. And hitting this base over here. No swarm, no nothing, just balls to the wall or hydras to the cannons and leading the charge with a couple of ultras or in the rear guard. But then again, yeah, that's it. That's it. I think that base is going to go down. And McGrave, oh, that's very well defended for the, well, for 2 lurkers. I think if you do drop 2 lurkers and the enemy in response build 7 cannons, that's got to be a net win. And McGrave is now sending 2 zealots to take care of this base, but they're a little bit indecisive, and the observer is just waiting, and where are these damn zealots? Where is the ground support? Yeah, it's late. Sorry. And this army completely ignores that there is a base over here, which it has spotted because there are lurkers now attacking it. So, great drop play by Simplicity again. Defense by McGrave could be better, and the attacking by McGrave could be better as well. And now Simplicity with a smaller army is going right for the choke, but there is a lot of cannon power up there, backed up by gateway units with a good number of upgrades. +3 armors coming up. Shield. Why is there? Aren't there any shields? That's weird. But +3 weapons, and even without shields, these gateway units are doing a lot of damage. Oh, and now the probes are coming to long distance mine, and I don't hope that there will be fighting units in here, because otherwise they're going to feel a little bit of pain because of that. But then again, you never know. Oh, and McGrave getting some bases back. I think that's good. Simplicity not really. Oh, it's sort of defending them. That is sort of okay. And now moving up the ramp. And let's see if these ultras with these supporting units can do enough to help and stop that. We haven't gotten the ultra upgrades. That would be nice to have, especially the armor. Oh god, I did it again. These cannons, because they are well positioned, they do a lot of damage to the Zerg forces. 1 ultra dying, and I think that's going to be the last of this cannon, but it kills 1. Oh no, it's going after the probes, and that's not really the right order. It might just fall to the oh, and the cannon dies. And I think that base is in grave peril, but McGrave has rebuilt its army, which is good. This base is up and running. It's producing combat units, so very unfortunate for the Zerg. And now the entire might of the Protoss army seems to be bent in the direction. Oh god, so many overlords have died this game. It's really, oh, it's not unfair, but it's painful to watch if you're an overlord lover. That's a kind of inclination that I'd really not like to discuss on stream. But then again, it's a mythical unit. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I don't think that is going to work awfully well. Yes, this base is dead. That attack is stopped. And now Simplicity has got, I think... It's hard to say who's ahead. McGrave has got the greater army, but is really making a little bit clunky army decisions. Fighting decisions. And Simplicity seems to be a little bit more on top of things, but now we'll lose some units as well. There is a Dark Templar, and Simplicity's Overlord use, if not for drops, is a bit suspect. Has found the Dark Templar now, which is getting killed. McGrave is losing a couple of stray units in the middle of the map, and Simplicity is really getting a great large army together, losing another base though. But McGrave lost this one and is now mining for only 1, and although it's got a little bit of money in the bank, it's not really in the greatest position at this point. Oh, Simplicity quickly throwing up a couple of Sunkens to help him defend this base, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And I don't know for the life of me why this Protoss army is oh, this might have something to do with it. A great Zerg host advancing upon the natural choke. And if you have them on move command, you can expect something nasty to happen. Still, Zerg has to break this choke. But Protoss is mined out, has got no gas, and that's very unfortunate. This is going to be the greatest SUV probe explosion in all time. Unfortunately, I cannot see how many minerals are left in that patch. And there is a nice Protoss army over here. Might just kill this base, and then Simplicity will be down to 1 base as well. Or 2. Because this base didn't get sacked, but Simplicity lost a lot of his arm. Oh no, here it is. And has got this base rebuilt. So yes, it's really anyone's game, but McGrave is out of money, and it's got this 140 army supply. The Dark Templar is doing such a lot of damage, because there is no there are some overlords in the war train. which might be good. And now McRae will lose an army. And it had 114, and Simplicity might even save this. This is the mess. This is really messed up. This is... I don't know what's happening. The Corsairs are over here. Simplicity is mining still from this base, even while it's attacked, and the entire army is outside and doesn't really seem to be aware of the urgency of the situation, that if you are on a couple of bases and the enemy... Oh, there you go. So base saved. This base populated 60 versus 11 workers, and although McRae has got a nice army with a couple of High Templars with energy, have they got the energy upgrade? No, they haven't. Shields 2 has finished, but you've got no more income. And Simplicity has. And Simplicity Production Tab looks like this because it's run out of Overlords again. And that's just so wasteful. But all in all, it's now building more spores. Will we have... Oh God, yeah, we will have a disruption web. And so, look at that. That was about 5 disruption webs just in one spot, just to make extra sure. But it's 80 versus 19 army supply, and that is a great... That is a definition... Oh, that's 2 mist storms, but that were great storms. But it's 77, and... Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Simplicity going for the throat, not going to bother with all the remnants of the McRae army. Going for the kill, losing a lot of units. McRae still 40 army supply, lots of it over here, killing this base. But right... Oh, Simplicity shouldn't do that too much, though. Base exterminated, and I like that hit squad. Just a lot of damage in there, and Simplicity should really reinforce its bases a little bit better, perhaps with a lurker or two to make sure, and not rely on two spores to do the job. Meanwhile, the Protoss main base is under attack, and McRae has got 40 army supply still. Simplicity has got 40. Oh dear. And right when... Was that a drop drone? That was really impressive then. Yes, it might take on this base. We've got one spore. And oh dear, a handful of... It looks like we've got upgrades for... Yes, armor and speed for the Ultras. And now it is 20 army supply, and damn if it's not all going to be... It's not all in Corsairs. There are 2 observers as well. And these 2 lurkers take care of the observatory with 2 pylons. And this is going to be a hard blow to take. Lots of drones being produced, Simplicity going for the long game and for the kill as well. Very well played, both players could be a little bit more on point, but still Simplicity is doing rather well. And of course we'll be watching. Yes, that's the game. Alright. Penultimate game of today, and as I said, there isn't really a theme, just some good games to finish up the week and keep everyone motivated. Of course, have a look at the upgrades and the new players which have hit the server. We are seeing a nice full first kind of thing out of TSMU, and then an expansion. We have got 2 cannons out here by Locutus. TSMU got updated, and I can't really see what has happened. But, yeah, Locutus is just going to be extra safe with another cannon. We'll delay the construction of an economy or any kind of that, but going for a quick nexus behind that, because you can do quite a number of Zerglings with only 3 cannons. That's quite efficient. TSMU though taking that sign for the signal to expand, and will know that Locutus will take some time to be able to project any kind of threat on the map. Going for a 2-base goon kind of thing. That is okay. Sorry, should not speed it up that much. TSMU is building, well, not too many forces really. Taking a 4th base with another hatch. Wow, this has got quite a number of drones, 24. Has got 0 forces, that's unfortunate. And this goon is severely disrupting the mining in the natural. But with a couple of Hydras and Lings, TSMU is taking some map control, should keep its forces a little bit in tighter formation, but you can see that the forces are flooding in from every which way. 25 workers should be okay. Locutus with the Goon Micro. If you let Locutus get up a large Goon army, it will out-micro everything. It's like a pack of dogs in a field full of hares. But now TSMU pitting a couple of Goons with an attack from behind. And with the Lings and the Hydras, it's fighting okay-ishly. Taking a third base though, Locutus is, and with that Yoda comment, we are going into the mid-game, where we'll have a bit of a scrappy situation in the middle of the map. TSMU with 25 workers, 4 bases, lots of gas, but isn't really on top of the game as such. Locutus is going to be able to make a couple of Goon armies, and with the third base up, it will be good. And you can see Locutus is only making Goons. So with the work count as it is and the absence of static defense, or the static defense can be pretty light, I think that TSMU is going to be in a bit of a quandary. And again, the Hydras should be okay, but then you have to micro them all, and you need some kind of static defenses, and you need to up your drone count a little bit, because 24 workers on 4 bases is not the most. This base is somehow safe, but this base is completely undefended, and that means the main is undefended as well, and that's just not good. TSMU 18 workers, Locutus has got 55, is killing the 4th base, mopping up any kind of forces, and TSMU, oh well, that's sloppy by Locutus, but some Goons are left over here to do a lot of damage. Locutus taking the forward position, and that I think is going to be the game. So Locutus not taking any prisoners here. Didn't go as far in the main tournament finals as it hoped, but is demolishing TSMU Zerg with comparative ease, and that's not a simple thing to do. Unit composition is 40-50 Goons. Oh, and now some Templar. And TSMU is booted from the game. So, last game of today, it's Microwave versus Egbert, and that was re-inspired based on the rankings. Can I show you that? Yes, these are the rankings. Based on ELO, it's Seda back at number 1, closely followed by Locutus. Then Ironbot doing very well. Last update right before the finals, but nothing major. Purple Wave doing good, no surprise there. Darchin, Locutus, well, clone thingy, haven't really seen that much development of that. And Microwave is there, then the number 6. Then Banana Brain, Killerbot, Crazio Protoss still doing very well. Halpan, the Iron clone. Chimera Bot, it's ZZK, Iron and McGrave, so that shouldn't come as a surprise. Then Steamhammer, Proxy, Eric Hammer, TSMU Random, B-Reaver, and basically then the rest. Sim doing really rather well, and I was really surprised again to see how far it went in the main tournament. But that was really the reason to see the last game with Microwave and Egbert, because Egbert has been working very hard and is, I dare say, one of the better bio players out there, and I hope we are going to see a bio game this game as well, starting out with a barracks and a bunker, just to be very safe against any kind of zergling tactics. Microwave though going for quick gas, late pool, and the natural should almost be done. And now Egbert is playing it really rather safe with a lot of forces in there, a bunker, gas, very compact build, really fearing any kind of zergling shenanigans this game. And here come the zerglings. It's not really shenanigans as they are rather late to the show, and Egbert has got more than double the number of marines to help him deal with them. So should be okay. Bunker over here might have been nice, perhaps with the barracks to build a bit of a wall, later on move up to here. Now, Microwave, one of its big weaknesses was that it didn't really build enough workers. Has got 16, 17 now, 19, so it's really caught up with that. Making a great economy and keeping tabs on the map with just a handful of zerglings. And if the Terran's on one base, it can't be all that dangerous, but there is always the potential of a big nasty marine push with stim, with medics, and perhaps range coming up. And that can be potentially very, very, very nasty. And as a Zerg, you really need something like a lot of Sunkens or perhaps Lurkers if the push is really committed. Now Egbert is going with 3 barracks, pumping full time. Ooh, that was a big stim. Oh, and the Lurkers are there, and of course there is... That is a lot of stimming going on. There is a comsat. Might... Oh, there is a turret as well. Scan is going off, and the first Lurker is not getting killed. Oh dear, that's not good. There is just not enough energy, and I think that microwave can do quite well with these Lurkers if it's really... Oh, this is silly. But the Lurkers are not really as aggressive as they could have been. And that will give Egbert the time to macro up. Here it comes. Have we got a scan? We've got 1 scan probably. And now catching this Lurker egg, morphing right in the middle of the choke. Oh, scan going off while there are no forces. That's very unfortunate. But then again, microwaves, Lurker tactics aren't all that great. You should really leapfrog them and wear out the scans of the enemy. Overlord in danger. Yes, there it goes. No third base for a microwave. Microwave playing rather defensively. This is looking like a rather old school Korean TVZ. 1 base play, 2 base play, but nothing really beyond that. And Egbert is, well, keeping its forces quite nicely together, stimming a lot though, so these medics aren't really as full as they could have been, and spending a lot of time on 1 Lurker egg. And that Lurker evaporates as soon as it hits. Now though, then they unburrow. So right when the Stint Marines and Firebats get into rage, they unburrow, and I don't really think that microwave can really hold this advancing Zerg army. And again, there is a Lurker egg right in the way, which will delay the enemy, of course. But now the Natural's up and running, we'll have another comsat soon. And I should deselect those. Yes, Egbert seems to be in good shape, just rolling up to the main, and I can only hope that these Lurkers will keep their bloody heads down and start blasting these Marines. Some stims going on, and it's always nice to keep your distance, but what happens if units from behind are pushing in? And the Lurkers, they just run. There are 5 or 6 or 7 Lurkers out there, and Marines are all happily blasting away at the Sunkens. This is complete nonsense. Egbert, meanwhile, completely undeterred, making more production. Will we have a burrowed Lurker for crying out loud? No, not really, but the Marines dare not push in further anyway, so what do you know? Any kind of hive tactics coming on? No, not really either. So for the time being, it's a bit of a full barish situation, and the Lurkers only burrow after the last Sunken is gone. Yeah, that's a good position. So now the Marines can't really get in anymore, and only now the Lurkers, when they about equal the number of Marines, find the balls to move out. I don't really know how the Zerg is organized, if they're all infertile females or infertile males, or fertile males which just don't get the permission to procreate from these overlords, from the hatcheries or whatever. In any case, the bravery on the part of the Lurkers only... oh dear, oh dear, this is pretty... Yeah, that's a lot of Lurkers, and they are not doing anything. So, yeah, there you go. Oh, that's 15 Lurkers just killing 1 Marine. That's pretty gruesome. And Egbert taking a rather dangerous base, and in the same spot that TCMU took its third, Microwave took it, and has got a lot of Sunkens though, and should really rebuild some here, because before your Sunkens over here are engaged, you will need them over there. But leaving that to one side, the Lurkers are attacking. The Lynx kill the medic first, something can be said for that. And a small army is rocking up to the middle expansion, which may just lift off if the snow is just not happening. And now all the Lurkers are advancing upon this poor hapless base over here. There is a drone about to claim it, I believe. At least attacking it. Yeah, can't do that now. And all the hybrids, they just wade into a group of stimmed M&M, and that's not going to work. When 20 lurkers show up, though, it's a whole different story, and Microwave does take the middle expansion, and Egbert really hasn't got a plan to deal with that many lurkers. So he could have tanks, but there aren't any tanks. Oh, there is a thingy, a factory, but it's not really got a machine shop, so no tanks over there. Got a science vessel. Have you got irradiate? Might be nice, yes. Will take a while for it to get a bit of energy though, so that might take some time. And I don't really know if it's got that much time, because there is a lot of lurkering going on the map. And with 51 versus 40 workers, I think that Microwave is in a good position. One irradiate going off, it's going to play tag with all the infantry of the enemy to try and infest that a little bit. And this is really an unfair fight at this point. Unfortunately, most of the lurkers look at the damage. You are going to need some tanks if you're going to play bio, and if you see a lot of lurkers, you should probably stop playing bio or make 20 the science vessels and keep them alive, so you can irradiate everything. And now Egbert has got a bit of an issue with having 14 army supply, 4 of which in science vessels, and a lot of lurkers in the natural choke, which are taking their time, but now have invaded the mineral lines of the natural. Oh, and found this base over here as well. Have some lings. This cast is really a little bit Yoda-ish today, but oh, and a muter to top it off. Will we have a dedicated muter switch? No, not really, just a lot of drones. And one of the issues that Microwave had, namely a lack of drones, has, by the looks of it, been thoroughly remedied. And at the last choke, I think that the Terran can make a stand, but that is... Oh, no, that doesn't... Yes, that's how... Oh, and one egg dies. That's fortunate for Zerg, otherwise it couldn't have gotten in. But right now, the map is turning orange, and although these last Marines and Firebats are fighting heroically, it's not really going to work, is it? So, this was the last game of today. If you see anything, any good games, please recommend them to me. If you've got any suggestions on what to do with all the weekly casts this year, you can also write me at well, my email address over here. So yeah, that's it. Thank you everyone who has contributed in AI, especially thank you everyone who fought in the finals 2018. Good luck everyone with the coming year with, of course, CIG, AWIDE, and the AIST tournaments run by McRave. Those are going to be fun as well. For now, I'll put an end to this and spare Egbert's buildings the pain of being further demolished. I say good game, thank you for watching, hope to see you again next week, and goodbye.